Hey, this is the time that we say that if you have not sent in any questions or opinions in relation to the topic that will be discussed today, please start right about now. Our WhatsApp line is very active.
Yeah.
You can go on our Facebook, it is Joy Prime. And when you go on Facebook, do not forget to hit the share button. Let everybody know that we are live. And we're about to talk on the topic, dealing with difficult in-laws.
Yeah. At every point in time, if you're thinking of getting married, you'll be also thinking about who your in-laws are going to be.
Yeah.
Especially
I
when
worry
you have,
about that sometimes.
yeah, when you have the
Since
kind of
I'm
in-law
unmarried.
that does not like you.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
That's a
You
big
know,
deal.
the whole work that I have to put into making my in-laws love me.
Yeah, even before you get married to the man.
Yeah.
Because you'll be visiting the family and all of that. A lot of work.
No.
Yeah. I don't know what your situation looks like this morning. And so we want to have real life experiences. So those of you out there who are in marriages, if you're thinking of getting married and you're already dealing with your in-laws, we want to hear from you. So send your messages to us and then let's see how we can explore this, conversation to the very best of our,
Or even if you used to have a difficult in-law, but
left.
one way or the other, not leaving, but then you managed to creep into their hearts for them to, start living with you in a better way. What exactly did you do? You can share it with us.
And there are those that their in-laws made them divorced.
Well, and also
the difficult in-law was part of the divorce.
And also
let's introduce our guest to the studio. And then
yes. It's time for us to introduce our guest to you. And ladies first. And so, Eunice Tagoe. Yes, ladies first. Okay. You see, as for our male guest...
Having the ladies first, right? No, not at all.
Okay. You spot what I wanted to
Please go ahead.
I don't know.
Go ahead.
Hi, guys. So our female guest is Eunice Tagoe. She's a relationship counselor. Good morning, Eunice.
Good morning.
How are you?
I'm doing very well. How are you too?
I'm doing great. First time here?
Yes.
Not in the studio, but on Prime Morning?
Yes.
Ah, you're welcome.
Thank you.
How do you see our studio?
I love it. I love every part of it.
Yeah.
It's your first time and you made it to us.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Prof there, he has been dealing with
exactly.
he has been dealing with the other side.
It's amazing.
Thank you. And yes, our male guest, he's no stranger to us. He's no stranger to you. And that is Prophet Ekow Daniels. And he's the General Overseer of Roartime Ministries. Like I said, you love hearing from him. And every single time that, he shares his opinion on the topics that we discuss on Prime Morning, it goes far. It really does go far. Prophet Ekow, good morning.
Good morning.
How are you?
KMG and Asieduwaa. Once again.
Yeah.
Bless God. Yes, I'm fine.
I wanted to speak Fanti, but it's not working.
It's well.
Yeah.
It's well.
Yeah.
How have you been?
We've been good. Prophet Ekow, before we delve into the conversation, you experienced our previous studio and this new one. How does this look?
In short words, this is more like you.
Okay.
It's deserving one. Yeah.
Okay.
It's beautiful. I love every bit of it. Please bring me more here.
Okay, right. So, KMJ.
Very well. So, I'm curious. So, I want to know if we say a difficult in-law, what exactly do we, look at the characteristics of one to sit down and say, this is a difficult in-law? What exactly are we looking at? Ladies first.
Yeah.
Oh, right.
So now you're doing ladies.
Right?
You started this. All right. So, Eunice, let's hear from you.
Yes. I believe that marriage is supposed to, be enjoyed, right? Marriage is supposed to give you some form of peace and love. And so if your in-laws are not giving you that or not making it happen, they are a problem.
Okay.
Anything that's going to affect your mental health, your physical health, your emotional health, that's definitely a problem. Yes. So that's difficult in-laws. That's what they bring. They bring problems.
Problems.
Yes.
And nothing but problems.
Yes.
Okay, Prof, how would you describe that?
Basically, let me say a very big good morning to our viewers this morning, and my wife, Lady Sheila Daniels, and my daughter, Eloya Daniels, for watching, and to all Roartime Ministry members. God bless you. So yes, a difficult in-law. It just basically is an in-law who does not agree to the basic principles of the married home. You see, so that in-law or those in-laws would want to bring their own perceptions of life and rules of engagement to the home of their child, maybe be it a son or a daughter. Then I can understand the differences sometimes. I didn't understand till I had a daughter. So
It comes with that.
yeah, so now I'm in a better position to sometimes, you see, understand some of the disagreement of maybe the father or the mother, letting go a daughter or a son they've bonded with a very long time, you see. So, well, that's what we call maybe a difficult in-law. We'll see how it goes.
So a parent refusing to let their child go, basically?
No, you see, so spiritually, if I may, some parents are married to their children, spiritually, if I tell you.
Can you please elaborate? Because I want to really understand.
As in spiritual,
Yeah.
or just bonding?
No, see, there are spiritual marriages. The mother or the father could be married to their child, and just as you have the physical marriage thing. And the reason sometimes being that they wouldn't want to allow their child go. I'm a prophet by the grace of God, and I get a lot of some of these cases. You see, so sometimes maybe the woman or the mother has just one child. It often happens when it's just one child. You see, so when it's just one child, maybe he has just a son or a daughter, letting go that daughter, because remember, that daughter becomes a sister, you know, a brother, a best friend, everything. Understanding that this daughter is leaving me. Maybe the daughter is married at 30 years or 25 years, and you're saying that 25 years of this friendship is going away. You see, it's not easy. So, and more so when the daughter or the mother, to say, is coming from maybe a broken home. Maybe there's no father. Or maybe the father has just a son. You see, and this son has been his body. You know how guys, you know, we roll and all that, and then there's no woman or a wife to complement that. Somebody to fill in that gap when the boy leaves or the son leaves is difficult. You know, so sometimes they don't easily let you go. So spiritually, things can be done, or they can do things that will make sure that
will keep you.
Even if you go, you'll come back. Yeah, and there are people who sometimes wouldn't even eat their wife's food or their husband's food, or maybe, you know, bond with their husband because they prefer yet the mother's food, especially with the women. They may prefer the mother's food, or even especially the men sometimes. They'll prefer the mother's food. It happens. It's
I've
spiritual.
actually shared a story like that before, you know, previously on Let's Talk Relationship. I have a friend who, unknowing to her, she dated for 5 years she dated her husband for 5 years before they got married. Unknowing to her, her husband was a serious mama's boy, a serious one. After they got married, every single day, her husband wakes up very early, goes, he is going to eat his mom's breakfast.
You see?
His mom's food before he goes to work. And when he closes from work, he doesn't come straight home. He goes to his mom's house to have dinner. And so every time he comes home, he's full.
So this is not spiritual. This is just a mother's love.
No,
It could still be spiritual. Still.
Oh no, when we say spiritual, it doesn't necessarily mean a draw.
Okay.
You see, it's not like juju.
Yeah.
Everything is spiritual in life before it becomes physical. However, sometimes it's made intense or stronger. You understand? And it's a cord. You know, with children, you have a cord with your child spiritually. And so you need to cut off that cord of distance and understand that this son or this daughter is no more going to be mine. Because the Bible will tell you that when you go into the home of marriage, you become one. So there's separation, and the reality of accepting that separation becomes the problem. You see, so sometimes, and food is a big deal. People sell their destinies through food. So in food, maybe enchantment can be made, words can be spoken. That if my son eats of this food, he is never going to love any other woman but me.
Eunice, let's leave the spiritual aspect.
Yeah.
Let's be flesh.
Yes.
There's nothing wrong with a man saying that I have a bonding with my mom.
And I want
I
to
want
eat
to
her
go and
food.
eat my mom's
Yes.
food.
There's nothing wrong with that.
Nothing wrong. Now, there's a reason why marriage is not just for anyone. I mean, you can't just get married because you're of age. Maturity comes to play here.
Okay.
Once you get married, you cannot act like you were single. I hope you get me.
Yes.
And you have to be mature enough. Get to that point before you decide to settle with someone's daughter or someone's son. Right? Now, you're a married person. You cannot act like you used to do before. I'm not saying you need to totally change. However, there should be some changes, some compromises, some sacrifices. Oh, I used to eat my mother's food, like breakfast, lunch, supper. Now I'm married. I can't, just stop immediately. Let me just start with just eating breakfast. Whilst maturity will tell you that have a decent conversation with your mother, even if your mother does not understand. And I'm hoping that your mother will be as mature as we expect her to be to understand, right? I mean, if it's not happening, for me, in my line of work, I would probably think there's something, not going well with you mentally, right?
But in a situation where it's like there's a set of rules in the man's family that you as a woman coming into the family, you have to go by them.
Yeah.
You don't have to try to come in and change anything. This is how they were living their lives.
Yeah.
This is how things were done. He's got siblings who are married and are doing the same. Their wives are in on it.
Okay.
Why should you have a problem? And how
would
would you deal with such a situation? A mother like that, I mean...
I'm guessing they dated for a while.
Yes.
And maybe he once in a while mentioned it, or maybe, through conversations or...
Because you know.
Yeah, you would know.
Going to the mother.
And so if you decide...
Well, my friend told me that she never knew.
So if I can...
She didn't even get hints. No hints,
Maybe
nothing.
she saw it and ignored it.
Yeah, probably
she
ignored
probably
it. Yeah,
ignored
because she wanted to be married. And then you would have to dance to the tune. If you saw it and you decided to still get married to this kind of person, I always say that before you marry someone, ask yourself if they don't change. If nothing changes about them, are you sure you can stick with them for the rest of your life? If you cannot, then please stay away. But after seeing all of these things, that in their family, even after marriage, they have to eat mama's food. They have to, visit the family every Sunday. Are you ready to deal with that? If you're ready to deal with that, I don't have a problem with you. But you cannot get in and complain later. Yes. You cannot get in and disturb someone else later. That's your choice. So you deal with it.
Hey.
Yes.
So you see, you don't marry one person in marriage. You marry a family, especially in our African setting. You marry the lady and her family, her immediate families, even sometimes the extended. You marry the boy or the son or the man, and then you marry his family.
Yeah.
You see, so it's not just one individual you marry. And you see, three things basically breaks every marriage: sex, finances, and in-laws. You understand? These three things, every divorce, most 90% of divorces sit on these three pillars. You understand? And you need to have that understanding of the orientation of your partner. Which home is he coming from? Which home is she coming from? You understand? Yeah. The dynamics of the family. Some people are born rich. They grow up in a very rich family.
Yeah.
So I'm married by the grace of God, but if you are marrying into a rich lady's family, there are rules of engagement, there are principles the family can set. Listen, we don't eat here. We don't do ABC.
Right.
Now, if you want to go into the marriage in the name of marriage, as it should be, then you have to understand that there will be compromises. Because sometimes, if you try to break the protocols of the family, they will fight you.
They'll fight you.
And like I said, sometimes it goes deeper than we see physically. Like if it's a rich family, how they made the money is a big deal.
Okay.
And they will protect that reputation.
Okay.
So with in-laws, a lot happens. Sometimes they are protecting a reputation. Sometimes even the family would decide how the marriage should go. So you should be prepared in your heart, matured in the spirit, not just physical, but matured in the spirit. You can go into that same marriage, and by the wisdom of God and by the wisdoms of life, you can change that system. God can give you that wisdom. You understand? So like I'm saying, it's you can't sit here and just say it's supposed to be A or it's supposed to be B. I know a story where when the mother goes into the marriage, the mother decides to go to the kitchen and wants to cook. And she wants to cook for the son. When the son is in marriage, you understand?
That's a loving mom
yes.
who probably has messed cooking.
Somebody too would say that, okay, I would agree, I would accept, because on my part, I would be free from cooking.
Yeah.
No, but you see, it's about the wife. Does the wife agree
Yes.
to that? It's about the wife. If the wife does not agree, and I'm telling you, 99% of wives won't agree.
Oh, a lot would. A lot would, trust me.
Well, I haven't met in my course of work where a mother of the husband comes into the home and is cooking for.
Does she live with them
husband.
or once in a while?
No, I mean
Once in a while,
visitation.
Yeah,
You understand?
okay.
And then you go and you are cooking for her husband. The people I know don't agree because you see, the food men
I will let
eat.
you cook and I'll even eat.
If it's once in a while.
You see, you don't worry. There are situations that when you are not in yet, it's a different ball game.
Yeah.
The food your husband eats is the soul of the marriage. The food your husband eats is the soul of that marriage. If your husband is feeding from another hands in marriage, regardless being a mother or a father, it's a big deal. Yeah.
But some women will gladly do. I mean, I've seen women who feel that it's not a problem because I have a certain relationship with the mother.
But once in a while. Once in a while.
My husband. Yeah. And so if he decides that, oh, today my mom is here, I like us to, have her cook for us.
Mommy, answer now because you're afraid you my answer now.
Yeah.
There are women who will gladly tell the mother that, oh, mom, and then they want baby me here, like they want you to cook.
You see, if it works for them, like you're saying, once a while, if it works for them, that's fine. But where I sit, physically and spiritually, it's not a good cause. Where I sit, it's not a good thing. You see, issues come in marriage. Marriage is not a bed of roses. Things happen. One day, that can be used as a reference against you.
Okay.
I'm telling you, one day, that's one day, when the man is asking for that for you, and you are not able to meet the measure of the mother, it can be used against you. You understand? It is well.
But okay, so there are instances where after marriage, maybe just right after the marriage, maybe 2 weeks or a month, the woman has to travel, and then the man now has to live alone.
Yeah.
And
has to
cook and do all of that, and then the mother comes to do all these responsibilities for the man. I mean, should that also be a problem? Should the woman be sitting somewhere and be thinking that, okay, there could be this going on, there could be that going
since
on?
earlier you mentioned that, the soul of the marriage is in the food that the man eats. So
because you're not around, your husband has to eat.
You see,
he's been with the mom for a while. The mom can cook. He loves the mom's food.
You see, even in rich Ghanaian homes, I like to use Ghanaian and African. In most rich Ghanaian homes, those who employ maids in the home of a husband and a wife, the wife still supervises the food. In most Ghanaian homes. So if your wife is traveling and then the man cannot cook, I wouldn't say that the mother of the man should come in cooking. You see, the thing about marriage is that it is why in wisdom we'll tell you if something happens in marriage, don't bring your parents in. For example, if you and Asieduwaa are married, right? And there's a situation at home and you tell your parents, naturally, your mother will support you.
Yeah.
Naturally, your father will support you. You see, so if you open that gap and the root of distraction, it just takes an open door, just one step of it. If you open that door and you say, okay, mama, come into the home because wifey is gone for 3 months, so come and be doing the cooking. By the time you realize, conversations have gone on. Are you okay? When you come back from work, there's stress. I'm telling you, I'm not saying that mothers give bad counsel, but you see, mothers have this funny unconditional love. This funny unconditional love, especially with Ghanaian mothers. You see, they overcare for their sons.
Yeah.
And sometimes we always say that it looks like every Ghanaian mother has one teacher. They almost,
Yeah.
they
all
almost
the
think all the
Yeah.
same.
Yeah.
You know, so the fact that they are seeing their son not having a woman at home, you know, even sexually, some advices can come. Some suggestions can come in. So it goes beyond the cooking. You see, it's not just about the cooking. The fact that that comfort is brought in for the mother to come and sit in the home. I'm a married man. I set rules for my mother. You understand? If you ask my wife, my mother cannot come to my house and stay beyond a number of days. It's not permitted. My own mother, it's not permitted.
The same thing applies to the woman?
Yes, it's rules
And you
in my
both
home.
agreed on that this is how we wanted
Yes,
that?
if you want to come and visit us, you tell us ahead of time. You can't come to Accra and then just decide that, oh, my son and my daughter live here, so, hello, I'm coming home. Me, it doesn't
In
work.
case of urgency,
It
they
needs
had plans, but the plans
sense.
failed.
It needs to make sense. You see, if you don't put principles in your home, I'm telling you, out of that unconditional love thing, they can destroy the marriage.
Is that not you setting yourself up for your parents, and then because it's both of you, your parents to now start thinking that you don't like them, you don't want them around you?
No.
So you see, it's difficult, like I said before. When your daughter, I can look at my daughter growing up and saying that a lawyer will one day leave me and go and settle with a man. You see, naturally, it doesn't come easy to let go. But you need to understand that it comes a point in the time where you need to disconnect physically with your child. Well, the child has a life to live. They have a home to make. And it's about understand. That's why sometimes you have family meetings. So once a while, like in this December something, it's a good time. You sit with the family, you discuss, you give them understanding. You see, you just don't set the rules. You bring an understanding into those rules you're making and why you are making them. You see, and you speak in wisdom. So they don't think, oh, no. You understand? Sorry for my fancy sometimes.
We are good. We are good.
So you speak in wisdom, right? And then you bring understanding to the couple and to the home of the marriage, then to the in-laws. So they understand that, oh, it's not that they don't like us, but they are making their homework.
Okay.
You understand? We are making our homework so that tomorrow by this time, we can be pillars for ourselves and not dependent on you, because we've been dependent on you for God knows how long.
Yeah.
You understand? Even the children, because you need to even make your children understand that my parents are responsible, not grandma, not grandpa. You understand? And it's funny when grandma and grandpa raise children. I hope you know that in our Ghanaian setting.
Currently, we had a similar situation like that. A caller called and was talking about this grandpa, and how the grandpa took advantage of her, you know, and all of that. I don't even know how to put it, whether rape or made love to her or whatever. Defiled her, let me put it that way. To the extent that she got married at the age of 25 and she was still sad about what happened. The grandpa was dying and we had to, you know, tell everybody what happened when the girl was growing up. In fact, she's still struggling in her marriage as we speak now. She's around 29 or something like that. You know, so yeah, there's very serious issues. But you can also send your messages to us. Let us know what you think about the conversations we're having here, dealing with difficult in-laws. We've had personal examples, experiences. Prophet shared. I'm going to counselor Eunice to also share her experience. The counselor is also married, so she's got experiences she will share with us. You know, and those of you who are married and you're in situations like that, you can also send it to us. Let us know what you're going through, what you dealt with before saying that I am with my husband. You know, because sometimes it's even before you get there, the bridges you would have to mend, break, do whatever it is before you even get to be in the marriage itself. Is a big deal. So share those stories.
One main thing that I would even want to know is, in the first place, because definitely in courtship and relationships, when you meet your spouse, your husband or wife to be parents, after a while getting to know them, you notice certain things that might not sit right with you. In situations like that, do you ignore and say, regardless, you see, I know quite a number of people say that, oh, it's not the mother I'm getting married to. It's not the father I'm getting married to. It is the man or the woman that I'm going to stay in the house with and start life with is the person that I'm going to be married to. So I can't care about whatever the mother or the father might be doing.
Yeah, and Counselor Eunice, some also come with the intention that when they bring trouble, I give them trouble.
Yes, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
You know, there are women,
Whatever you give
right
them,
from
what
their
you get.
wedding, they spot those who give them issues and say, me, I give them issues. Does it really work sometimes?
Well, it works for some people. However, I think it's not right
Okay.
to get into the marriage with that kind of ideology. Right?
If I can find my battles.
No. You see, when he was talking about boundaries. And it works well for them because he's one with his wife.
Yeah.
Do you get it? There's that oneness. But if you get married to someone that's easily manipulated by family, then it becomes a problem. And so what I would ask anyone to look out for is someone that, would stick with you through thick and thin. That's when your family, he can set boundaries, especially for the men. It's very easy for him to set boundaries when he's so attached, not like, I am a drill kind of love, but then he knows that, yes, this is my new family. And then God is definitely going to hold me accountable for this family.
Yeah.
And so I should do everything in my power to bring peace to that family and protect that family. And so once they are together, the family can't just come in and attack the wife, or the other family can't just come in.
Once they join forces.
Yes, because they protect each other. Even spiritually, right? Yeah. When you hold hands to pray together, spiritually it works.
Right.
Physically too, it works. Like you fight the battles together.
Right.
If you have, if the man has an in-law that's always popping up, I'm here to visit my daughter. The daughter should be able to tell mommy that, mommy, it's okay. I'm married now. Do you get it? My husband needs some privacy, some space. If it comes from daughter to mother, it's not so bad as husband going to tell you, Lord, that madam, it's okay, I've married you.
So what about a situation where, as a marriage gift, the mother-in-law gives a house to them, and as newly-wedded couples, they are now about to start life. So if my father-in-law or my mother-in-law says, oh, I want to ease things for you a little bit.
Okay.
So I am gifting you a 3-bedroom apartment, a 2-bedroom apartment, so that you can feel at ease
comfortable,
and then start life the best way you can. Then before you realize, anytime she wants, because she has given you, anytime she wants, she's in the house.
Yeah, and I can agree with that.
Yeah, I know somebody who is going through such a thing.
Technically,
So,
I gave you the house.
yes.
You can't tell me to come and spend 2 days and go.
It's like giving me a dress and asking me to wear it on Saturday so
As
that you
for
can
this
wear
one,
it
I'll
on
deal with the in-law.
Friday. No.
No, if you want to have...
It doesn't work like that.
Whatever privilege, go and get your own house.
Let me start from something. You see, I once heard somebody, I think that, I wouldn't want to mention the name, but the person is a very reputable person. And then I heard a person say that he didn't need the blessings of their parents when they were getting married, so it's okay. And, the youth jumped on that and felt like, oh, it's okay, or oh, if this man says that, then it's powerful. We can, also do that. If you marry without the blessings of your mother or your parent, it's already a big curse. You see, when you are not dead yet, don't conclude life already. You see, and a situation where you become an exception, don't make it a doctrine. Don't think because 1 out of 1,000,000 worked for you, then it should be a system.
that, yeah.
That's not a way to speak to the youth, because if you're getting married, if it's difficult for you, like the courting stage where you get to know the parents or who you are getting married with. Remember, I said you're not marrying just one person. You're marrying a family.
Yeah.
If you can't stand by any means, you just move on. God does not design one man and one woman to get married. It's not like that. You understand? There's no Asieduwaa, your wife is KMG. Whether you go heaven and earth, that's your wife. It's not designed like that. You understand? So if you look at the premises of the matter and you cannot deal with them, you by wisdom move on. However, if you don't move on and you go into that marriage, you need to have a meeting and set up authority as a man. The man is the head of the family. You see, set principles that becomes an authority in the home. If somebody is giving you a house and that is a death trap, you don't accept it. You understand? And if you gave that to me And even if I was to accept that, I will still stamp my authority. You can't come for the house. I believe in...
Okay.
Prof, history. Let me give you an example.
Prof, 2-bedroom or 3-bedroom?
You see, the fact that I've given you a gift doesn't mean it's coming from the heart of genuineness. We can give you a gift to distraction. We can gift you something to destroy you. If somebody gives somebody who is in, let's say, genuine ground, somebody is working, maybe they just left university, they started life, their salary is 1,000 cedis, and I gift that person a Range Rover, I've killed the person. You understand? Because
sustaining that lifestyle will be difficult.
So I've burdened you. So some giftings can be yokes and burdens on your life. So even in principles of wisdom, spirituality-wise, when you marry at the event, when people bring you a gift, it's not wise to eat from that.
Some do right away. The envelope, they open it.
Exactly. Then immediately
they just start sharing the envelope.
Majority of those gifts have evil intentions behind them. I'm telling you. And most marriages got destroyed out of those gifts. Take the microwave and give it to your husband so that you can be heating food. That food you put in is poison, spiritually. That's poison. So you need to discern where the gift is coming from. Why is this gift being given to me? Not every open door is from God. The devil can open doors too. You understand? But when God opens it, he sustains it with peace. That's how you know it's from God. Do you understand? So you need to understand what you're getting yourself involved in. And, like I said, in-laws, they are the third pillars that can destroy your marriage. So you cannot fight them. If you say you want to fight your in-law, you will never get peace in your marriage. If you want to deal with your in-laws on that level of I'll fight them, you will never enjoy your marriage. Because you see, ebusunya nemu yedu chen awar.
Yeah, that's
You understand what I'm saying? I don't know how to say that I'm a fancy school. Ebusunya nemu yedu
we help
chen awar.
translate it in English.
No, family, the substance of family is heavier even than marriage. There are orders that can be instituted spiritually against your marriage. When they go before the family altar and speak, these are other matters. These are other matters. So, because of wisdom and not to fight unnecessary battles here and there, and just try to compromise if you can in certain areas.
Yeah, because if what they want you to do and some of the things they're asking you to do is a bit inconveniencing.
I'll give you an example.
And because you're scared of what they are capable of doing, it means you're also setting yourself up to failure. Because at the end of the day, it's your fears that will get you to where you're.
I'll give you an example for myself, right? And I know my wife is watching, but she should forgive me. You see, when I married my wife, she's the only son of the mother. You see, she's the only daughter of the mother. Initially, I didn't understand that whole bond. Like, my wife is talking to the mother all the time. Meanwhile, we are married. I didn't seem to get the whole transitions and all that. With time, I got to understand things by the wisdom of God, that this is this woman's best friend all her life. This is somebody she's known all her life. This is the only person she can truly confide in. I'm talking about my wife's mother. So initially when I say I want to stamp my authority in that, I was destroying my marriage. Can I deal with that? Can I let it go? Can I give them their peace? And I did that. And I realized it didn't affect me. I realized it made my wife and even my in-law much better. You understand? So with time, even the conversations changed. You see, you need to rule your home with wisdom. You need to understand what you are coming against. It's not easy for somebody to have an only child. And excuse me to say, if the person did not have, a good marriage to say, and then you come in the picture and say, oh, I'm the man and I'm the woman. You're not getting to talk to your son anymore. Now I'm in control. It's not wisdom.
Prof, someone will also argue that in your case, it's a bit different because you have a certain spirit of discernment. And so it's easy for you to be able to look beyond the physical aspect of the situation. So somebody might be looking at this from the fact that if this woman succeeds and still making the daughter mine, I stand a chance of losing.
Look, you see?
That is on somebody who is not on your level. But you can, on the other side, spiritually, look beyond what that person will look at and say, oh,
haven't you heard?
by the grace of God, I've got the capacity and I've got the power to control some of these things.
Haven't you
And
heard
so
prophets
it's okay.
who divorce?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Failed marriages.
Oh, yeah.
So why didn't they descend by the prophet?
But then again, there are also individual prophets.
So it's not about
if you are capable of seeing beyond that, maybe it's because of the level of prophecy that
So I don't think
prophetic
Prof is
belief that
trying
you've got
to
into.
say that everything you have to do with spiritual.
Yes, exactly. That's what I'm trying to say is that it's not necessarily too much of spirituality on that angle, because you have prophets who marry wrong women and they end up even destroying their ministries.
Yeah.
Why didn't they find out?
Yeah.
What I'm saying is that in 6 months in my marriage, I nearly divorced. 6 months into my marriage. That's when the Lord began to teach me, because I broke myself to seek wisdom. You see, you need to break yourself to understand you don't know it all.
Yeah.
And you want to know how to manage another human. Somebody created that woman.
Yes.
So you have to break yourself, come to that place to say, Lord, I need that humility and that wisdom to manage this institution. One woman is a nation. A woman is a whole institution. They are governing bodies. They themselves cannot even manage themselves sometimes. You see, so I went before the Lord to seek wisdom. Then the Lord, by his mercies, began to speak to me. You need to do this. You need to do that. Some people would not be willing to break themselves to that extent. After all, I'm the man. And it's purely an African setting.
Yeah.
I'm the Ghanaian, I'm a man. You don't talk to me when I talk to you in that manner. My in-law, my mother-in-law and myself, we are great friends now. My father-in-law and myself, we are great friends now. You understand? So in wisdom, it's a principality. And in all your dealings, seek the wisdom of life. God will help you.
God will definitely help you. Okay, viewers. So keep the messages coming.
Yeah, I want to get
Please
to
help
the
us out.
message
Read
console.
our messages.
I see some of the messages
Yeah.
we have over there. We've got quite a number of them.
So please start flooding our WhatsApp
Yep.
messages.
I'll start off with this one. So this one over here says that, good morning to you all. I actually left my marriage because of in-law wahala.
Uh-oh.
And it says, I'll discuss something with my then husband. He will come back and say, my father disagree, and that will be the end. I'll cook rice for 2 days. His mom will ask why I'm cooking only rice when that's what the man has requested. I cook for the whole family, and when I decide not to go out of my room, let them cook theirs and cook mine. The man's mother will come and call me. I thought the reason was because we stayed together. I advised that we move out, and then the man's father says, no, his son cannot rent for me when he has apartments. Mother-in-law enters my room anyhow. Just say,
Look at this.
No boundary.
I had to leave my own sanity. I had to leave for my own sanity because I married a
boy, not a man. Straight up, that's
That's
it.
a job from Kumasi.
Yeah.
Very sad one over there. This one says, great discussion this morning. I'm curious, how do you navigate infertility? It appears to be a topic that's often overlooked, yet many women find themselves contending with the pressure from in-laws urging them to conceive. Nana, that's another
That's
serious,
a huge topic.
another serious issue.
Yeah.
When mothers will come and they'll be asking you,
Yeah.
and they can ask you like 3 times in a day. So yeah, we'll take a look at that as well. My mother-in-law came to live with us, and I reported his son to her. Trust me, it was like hell. Meanwhile, we are living in our own house. She gave us money to build for her.
Hey.
It's real. Yes, what the pastor is saying is true. That's why it's not every gift that we have to accept.
Right.
Yeah. Some gifts, when you accept them, like a prof said, it's distraction that you have happily received.
Yeah.
Good morning. I'm Bintu from Bole. I really support the man of that in-laws should have rules. For instance, they shouldn't stay in their home for some number of weeks. My elder sister really faced this in-law problems. The in-laws was telling people that my sister doesn't give her enough meat, food. The man of God is full of wisdom indeed. Prof Daniels is full of wisdom. And we're always glad to have him here. And this one says, I'm listening to your conversation and I'm working woman who is working at a different station as my husband. So in the part of food making or eating, he mostly buy food outside when I'm not around. In that case, how do I work on it? Okay, so she's a busy type. And the man is almost left
At least
buying,
it's not a mother that is
buying
cooking the food.
That's a
Prof.
good one.
Oh, Anna, isn't that it?
Let me
Okay.
All right. This one says, good morning, please. If you're in a marriage where your in-laws doesn't like you, but your partner loves you so much, is it okay? After all, it's the man that I'm married to.
That is the
Prof,
same
your
thing I was
issue.
saying.
It's
Yeah.
a problem. It's a problem.
Okay. So let me probably get the last one over here, and then Prof and Counselor Eunice will answer some of the questions. I married, and the man is always spending his time with the elder sister, and comes to me only when he's in to eat or when to sleep. Decisions between us, he tells the sister. In fact, they were not showing that close relationship to me before the time of marriage. My mother-in-law sees their friendship to be normal, and I'm the obstacle. Your own husband, oh, the sister is taking over. All right, so that would be some of our message. But Prof and Counselor, what do you make of this? The mom, yes, the very last one.
The one with the sister.
So the man's sister is very close to the man, and the lady is not getting access to the man. Now, the mother-in-law is also supporting it because she believes that it's normal. It is something they've been doing ever since, so she doesn't have to complain. She's now the problem.
My head is even aching. What is this?
See, one
She's
day,
now the problem.
one day I spoke with an elderly man one of the days, and he was speaking wisdom to me by reason of empowerment. And he says that, do you know that in some families, they have sexual intercourse with themselves as a way of bonding and keeping the covenant of the home?
Till this time
Yes.
of our lives.
Yeah, I'm telling you. Oh, things are happening. Oh, it's not everything that is beautiful like that. Oh. Yeah, so the man told me that in some families, maybe the father will have sex with the daughter to keep a family covenant. That's why I told you riches has sources. The mother will have an intercourse with the son. Maybe the brother has something with the sister. And it's
How's that?
And it's happening. It's
insane.
Yeah, so that keeps the covenant of the family. Now, you would need to be very spiritual and have that wisdom to break such a covenant if you want to enter that kind of a family. If you say, oh, you know, the sister, I'm not saying they are, I'm not...
It's an example you're making.
Yes, an example. So the person doesn't say, oh, Prof said. You know, so you need to have that spirit of discernment to know, why is my husband more comfortable with his sister than me, a wife? I've seen people where, I've known cases where in sex, the man is mentioning the name of the sister. The woman is mentioning the name of the brother. You understand? And you are thinking, what is happening here? It's dangerous, it's deep, it is altaric. There's something happening that you have gotten yourself involved in. You don't just enter into marriage because, oh, she's so pretty, she has curves, or he has 6 packs, unlike me, you know. Or he's a good representative for marriage. You don't marry like that. You check the background of the family, spiritually first. What is this family into? What are the altars of the family? What am I going to deal with? You see, what are my problems? Then the Lord will show you. What we normally call red flags is the mercy act of God.
I see.
Oh.
Counselor Eunice.
Okay.
I don't know, but I feel that, you know, some of these things, like we rightly said, where it begins and where the red flags that he mentioned, there are some people, when they see it, they even think that the love supersedes everything. And then when they get there now, it becomes a problem.
Okay, so there's this thing I always say. I don't know if it's okay to say it on TV.
But
I always say that sometimes even the love of your life could be an idiot, and there's nothing you can do about it. The fact that you love them doesn't mean they cannot be wicked or idiots or foolish or whatever. Excuse my French.
It's okay.
I hope you get it.
Yeah.
And so you would see some of these signs, right? I mean, the spiritual aspect is, I'm up for it any day, right? Because marriage is spiritual. But then when it comes to the physical aspect, these are things you cannot ignore. right? The sad thing is that I'm sure most of us even have sex with our partners before we marry them, right?
Yeah.
And then you hear him mentioning his sister's name. Or say, this is something you cannot ignore.
You can't.
You see,
You can just not say that. Maybe
could be a slip.
He's used to mentioning his sister's name.
At this time, at that moment when
That's
someone
when
is
you want to
having an orgasm,
So that could also be the kind of relationship he has with a sister.
Yeah.
It might not be sexual relationship.
No, please.
But no.
What kind of look at the kind of excitement.
No, there are some people who are
right?
very close to their
What are you
sisters.
saying?
No, please.
That they may mention their names,
it would take-
not because they have sexual relationship.
It would take God himself
Oh, come on now.
to convince me that whilst you are having an orgasm,
Especially when you have a kind of
you
sister that
remember
is more
your sister's
like a
name.
handbag. Like it's always moving with you wherever you're going.
no,
You have certain
no.
things you do together, like you hit your sister hits you back, and that kind of thing.
Whilst you're having an orgasm,
It could be part of it.
it's a
I don't entirely agree to this.
Nobody should tolerate any such thing. Don't tolerate it. Right from the beginning.
might not.
You see it. Cut it.
Because you might even find out and realize that there's nothing sexually.
Until then,
please.
Until then, you cannot ignore. You'd have to be deliberate about it. Like, without even confronting it, you would have to do your own investigations, like he said. Because just like he's saying that in some families, like spiritually, there is this and that. Physically, that some sort of diseases, mental health conditions, all of that in some families as well.
Right.
What if he's dealing with psychosis or whatever, mental condition? That is why or any of these mental health conditions, and he's probably seeing you as somebody else. He's probably hallucinating whilst he's having an orgasm. What if it's in the family? Anything?
That's what the family does.
What if,
But with time it will change. I'm sure there are ways. There's some red flags that change.
I want to ask this before we go, okay? In a situation where you're married, your wife gives birth, usually when the woman gives birth, the woman's mother comes into the house to help. If she's alive, she comes in to help. So in a situation where the woman comes into the house and helps with the baby, but then your wife becomes so used to the fact that her mother is around.
Okay.
And then now the woman stays longer than she's supposed to, or the mother-in-law stays longer than she's supposed to. Then, before you realize, you're pregnant again. And then now she has to continue staying in the house and she's going nowhere. I know a man that is dealing with such a situation and he can't say that I want this woman out of my house. Because the woman is highly uncomfortable with the fact that you want my mother out of the house. When you're not around, she's the one helping with the kids. When I go to work, she's the one helping with the kids. So why do you want my mother out of the house? What do you do in such a situation?
Well,
because it only started with when she gave birth, right from the first day, birth.
I think when it comes to marriage, people are actually married, but I don't think they are friends.
Okay.
Right? Because why can't you have a decent conversation like this with your wife without it being blown out of proportion or being a problem? Why can't you tell your wife that, oh, I'm very uncomfortable, so this is the problem I'm presenting to you, and this is the solution that I have for it, so that we can all be happy? Why is the woman getting angry? Why is the man getting angry? Because most of married people aren't even friends to start with.
Okay.
They're just married because they found each other attractive and they are married.
Yeah.
And so a lot of conversations has to go on. And it brings us back to the boundaries he was talking about. You cannot just stay married without boundaries. If my husband is, uncomfortable that my mother is with us all this while and he communicates with me, I think I should be understanding enough to understand where he's coming from. If a help or nanny or an outstay nanny, someone else would make things more comfortable than me bumping into my mother-in-law everywhere I pass. Because when they are not your parents, you try to do so much to sort of please them.
Yeah.
Right? Normal things. Maybe you want to, stay home sometimes and just sleep all day. But you're thinking, oh, my mother-in-law would think that I'm a lazy man. And so by force, you have to find somewhere to go. You do everything your part to please them. Make them, when they need money and you don't have it, you want to go and borrow just to please them.
Yeah.
But when it's just the both of you, if it's Gary you have,
you're eating. Yeah.
right? And so it's a problem. These are boundaries that you need to set. When it comes to marriage, there are lots of compromises that you have to make. You can't think all about self. I'm comfortable with my mom, and so yes, she has to stay. You impregnated me. You are not suffering. I'm the only one suffering. So yes, you don't have a say. It doesn't work like that. That's why marriage is not just for anyone who thinks they are ready or their organs are developed. No, no.
On that note, Prof has something that is happening we need to talk about as well. I was pressed for time, so
yes,
maybe we're going to get into that. Prof, what is happening? What are we doing?
Yeah, so by the grace of God, come 14th and 15th of December 2023, of course. It's next week, Thursday and Friday evening, 6 p.m. evening at the Vice Chancellor's Office Complex. We have an Effortless Grace Conference coming up, Keys to a Successful 2024. As we were discussing, some people want to get married in 2024. Yeah. They need to check with the Lord. Yeah. Is he the right man, like it's on the screen? Is he the right man? Is he the right lady? And right, I mean, will I go in for peace or for war? You know, what's going to happen in this marriage? God is able to show you. And even in business, in your careers, in your finances, what is God saying concerning that? Come 2024. So by the grace of God, we have my spiritual father, Apostle Francis Amwakwata. He is speaking on the 15th of December. Okay. And Prophet Emmanuel Bedu, who is speaking on the 14th of December, which is the Thursday. It's a 2-night conference. And by the grace of God, it's a red carpet event to close the year. So we have Akwabwa coming through. We have Prince David Osei coming through, Abnache Boache. And also we have Minister Salasi, Jamin Deborah, and Ida, you know, ministering to draw the presence of the Lord, and even Felicia Osei. So, you know, so by the grace of God, we are putting together this mighty conference, and we are saying, come and inquire of the Lord what is of your life come 2024. What is God doing? What is going to happen? What are the traps they are setting for you? That marriage that you are going to enter in 2024. Come and check how are the in-laws going to be like.
Yeah, it's very necessary.
The Lord is able to tell. So it's 6 p.m. Okay. We start 6 p.m. in the evening at UPSA, the Vice Chancellor's Office Complex. And by 10 p.m., we have closed. So please come early. 6 p.m. is a red carpet. You get to meet some of your favorite celebrities.
I'll be there. Put me in the ushers.
You are always not coming.
Oh, no, this time I want... No, give me something to do.
Okay.
Usher.
Okay.
Once I'm usher, I'll come.
Ida, please.
So please put my details. I'll be an usher.
Yes, and in case you want to call us, our number is 0244 856 983. 0244 856 983. I don't know if I can give a shout out to some of our partners. Sure. Okay, so I would like to say a very big thank you to KCK Multimedia, Be Inspired by Tima, and Yango Ghana. I appreciate you so much. They are supporting us, and we are bringing these godly conferences to the youth. My heart is after the youth. So wherever you are, please find Jesus Christ. He's your Lord and personal Savior. If you find Jesus, your marital crisis will be solved.
It will all be over. It
You see all the dangerous in-laws.
It will all be over.
That'll be our time.
Guys. Yeah. Right. Okay.
That'll be our time for this morning, right?
That's it for today. That's all the time that we have for today's discussion on the circle relationship. I hope you enjoyed yourself. And next week, you're definitely going to continue the conversation. There are more topics to delve into when it comes to marriages. So we'll do that specifically for you. And so our guests today have been Prophet Ekow Daniels, who is the General Overseer of Roartime Ministries International. I was somebody count.
Yeah.
Yes.
It's prophetic.
It's prophetic. Yes. And Eunice Tagoe, who is a relationship coach. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you for your time, and thank you for all that you've shared with us and our viewers. And that's it for today.
Absolutely. But we're coming back tomorrow to wrap it all up for the week.
Yes.
I want to believe it's been a good week. The weekend is just around the corner. So we'll see you tomorrow at 6 a.m. Thanks for watching.
Bye.